Welcome back to the Portal Bonanza podcast brought to you by Hoop Scoop Media. I am Austin Getchy, joined by Kyle Curran. Kyle, how are we doing today?
Good, doing good. Solid day in the portal.
Yes.
More just I guess coaching rumblings than
Yes.
anything. I think
And
Muss's headlines took the day. But
yes, we'll see if anything happens there in Arkansas. For those who don't know, the AD put out a video like last week that alluded to him staying, but turns out Muss knew none of that, and now the USC's open. He's visiting there, interviewing there. We'll see how that goes, but not looking good for people who want him to stay at Arkansas.
mhm.
But Arkansas, I think they're fine because I feel pretty confident in their ability to get a good coach. I wonder what that could mean for potential commits like Josh Cohen. They've been pretty involved with some other guys, as must always is. So we will see how that pans out.
Yeah, really
Really
interested.
intrigued to see what happens there. But yeah, we not too many entries today. Um, there were some solid ones, as there always are, some really good players, but the commitments were kind of the main storyline of today, I would say. A lot of big time commitments. Headline was Zeke Mayo. No surprise here. Going back to Lawrence, Kansas, at the University of Kansas, as we both predicted he would end up going to Kansas on last night's podcast. Today he makes it official. Yeah, wasn't good enough for Kansas in high school, but the Lawrence native is good enough now. The second backcourt pickup for Florida, or not Florida, I was thinking of Google there, but Kansas this portal season already. What do we make of this pickup?
I like it. I think he's gonna. I wonder what the role is. I feel like maybe you could bring him off the bench.
I
Maybe
think
you
you
could
should
start
start.
him. You could start him
I
at the
think,
two, and you
and
put
one thing I
Kugel at the
like,
three.
yes, which I think that's perfect. But I think Mayo is like a more of a combo guard and a true point guard. And he
I
was kind
agree.
of forced to play the point guard at South Dakota State. They didn't really have a true point guard.
I think
So he
Dewan
just
will
he just
elevate
kind of got
both
in
of
share
them.
role. But yeah, DeWan can get some open shots for him and get some scoring. And Mayo is more than a capable point guard when Harris might be sitting on the bench for whatever reason. So definitely can still run a point
I'm
without a
not gonna lie,
question.
I'm really liking what Kansas is building right now.
Yes, their backcourt was miserable this year, and I've already got two guys who can
I
create their
drank
own
the Kool-Aid
shots.
for a little bit last year prematurely. I think
Yeah, everyone was so in on them. We need to not groupthink at all this year. Just come up
part of
with
the
our
reason
own
was
takes.
Arterio Maris played a big role in why
Yeah,
I was in on them. He
I
was
yeah.
that creator. He was their really high ceiling guard in the
Yes.
backcourt.
Luckily,
But
all records have indicated that Riley Kugel and Zeke Mayo both respect women.
yep,
Can't
sure.
can't go wrong with that.
Clean slate so far.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Um, it's what you like to see. But yeah, those two guys can create. They can create for themselves, can create for others a little bit. Very
And
good
you got good
pickups.
defenders. You got Kugel who could play
Yes, Kugel,
both
very good
ends.
defender.
And you got Harris who can really defend. I
Yes,
mean, no, it's a team I really
yeah.
like right now.
Depending on what happens in the front court, but I like
Yeah,
what
we'll
Bill
see.
Self is cooking.
I think KJ's back too. He announced today,
I
right?
I think I think I did hear that. I didn't see anything for sure, but I think I heard
Hmm.
people talking about that at least. Um, Meechie Johnson is back in Columbus, back to Ohio State, where he spent his first two collegiate seasons. Was a really good player this year at South Carolina, leading scorer on a team that really surpassed everyone's expectations of them. Tournament team there. What do we make of this pickup?
I like it. You put him next to Bruce Thornton, who's also back, who announced that
Yes,
today.
I did see that.
Felix Okpara is back. Um,
Yes, he is.
I wonder what the rest of the roster is going to look like once it's filled out. But they have the pieces to build around already. They have the foundation in place. Now you just got to fill out the rest of the roster.
Yes. Interested to see how that Michi and Thornton combo will work as they're both
Yeah,
kind of the same position, but I think Meechie's more of a scorer. Although he is a point guard, I would say.
good
Um,
thing about Thornton is Thornton's not going to force things. That's why I really
yeah,
like Bruce Thornton. He will. be comfortable in whatever role he's in.
Hmm.
Whether he needs to be more aggressive, he'll know when to get more aggressive. If he needs to be a little more passive, if Michi's really feeling it one game, he'll be the distributor for that game. Like, yeah, that's the thing I do love about Bruce Thornton for sure.
Yes, but yeah, Meechie going back. Um, Big pickup, and I just lost my doc with the. I'm not sure where that went, but I'll open it back up to see who else committed. But yeah,
Eddie Lampkin
really
committed to
solid pickup.
Syracuse today.
Yes, you do have the doc open. Eddie Lampkin, he did commit to Syracuse. He's an interesting guy, but he's a very solid big man.
Yeah, yeah, not really, I guess, moved by it, but like it's a cool pickup, like it's good for Syracuse. You lose Malik Brown though, which it's, I think
Yeah, I
gonna
think I'd
hurt.
rather have Brown and Lampkin, but I
Yeah,
don't think that's also like too terrible of a downgrade. They'll never
true.
recover.
Lampkin's bigger and he's better probably on the glass, so I mean, I get that. So
Yeah.
I just got to see what Syracuse's backcourt looks like before I get any opinions. Because I think Judah Mintz is gonna go pro. And
Or
Starling,
even Portal. But
is Starling in the portal?
no, I think he'll stay. I don't really have any.
Okay,
I think he's a lock to stay.
true.
Maybe
He is
not a
from
lock, but
there.
I think he will stay. But yeah, solid pickup. Pretty skilled. Kind of as that traditional big man finishing around the rim. Doesn't really give you much on defense, but he does give you a body at least. He'll get defensive rebounds. Can't protect the rim. Can't really jump too much. Doesn't really do too much of that. But yeah, Iowa State, they got Nate Heisey from Northern Iowa. Really solid pickup from a in-state school. Gives him a lot in a wing. Gives him a little bit of everything. Can really, I think, be a really solid role player for next year's Cyclones team. And
Yeah. As long as they don't try and overexpose him, I think it'll be good. I think they'll probably use him in more of a spot up role
yeah,
because the Big 12 is very physical. You don't really get that in the Valley a ton.
yeah. But I mean, he's not really like a shooter. Like
That's the thing,
he
right?
can
It
he
could be
can do a lot
weird.
of things. He's really efficient scoring inside. Can
Is he
pretty
like a
solid.
mid-range guy or
Yeah, I would consider him to be that, but he was Northern Iowa's best player this year. Really bounced back
definitely?
strong from his injury. So um, definitely a very solid pickup. Should be a very solid defensive player as well, which is what Iowa State is building their foundation around. Derek Simpson, he is off to St. Joe's. Rutgers transfer really struggled this year, but has 2 years left. Still has shown some crazy flashes. I know you're a big Simpson guy. I mean, you're obviously a big Philadelphia guy with St. Joe's. So
This is just such a St. Joe's pickup. Like St. Joe's is like always bringing in like guards that, have upside, have potential. And that's Billy's name to fame. He's always going to get talent. Billy Lange
yeah,
is a great talent getter. There's no doubt
yeah,
about
and
that.
I think
He's
Simpson he can be good. Like he's not like a terrible developer. He
definitely
just doesn't put
um
everything together.
Reynolds could be back too. There is a
He
possibility.
he could
I
portal
don't
though.
know. Yeah, I think he will portal, but there's a possibility he'll be back. I don't know. I haven't heard anything, so
The possibility is there. This doesn't make this any more likely, but I don't think it makes it too much less likely. If Reynolds wants to come back, he's can feel free to do so. He's much better than Simpson at the moment, but yeah. Jordan Ivy Curry, UTSA transfer off to Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech is a school that has been getting killed in the portal, so it's nice for him to get a little bit of reinforcements. Ivy Curry's a solid player. Really had a good season this year once he got back from his transfer suspension thing where he wasn't allowed to play because no transfers were, but he was putting up some consistent scoring numbers, shot the ball well. Um, yeah, definitely showed some passing abilities as
this
well.
pickup just kind of shows me though, like how Virginia Tech's transfers gets over the
Yeah.
last couple of years have just consistently gotten worse.
I think it's an NIL problem.
Yeah, I mean, it used to really get guys like, Storm Murphy, or he
Yeah, well
wasn't even
that
that
was
good
a
there.
tag along with
Yeah,
yeah.
but they used to get pretty good portal guys. Now it's,
Yeah, I'd be sure he's
or
fine, but he doesn't like strike me as an overwhelmingly good high major player.
exactly. Like, I don't know if he's even an ACC level player, like one of their better options. Like,
We'll
really
see.
concerned.
We'll
Well,
see. He was solid this year though, I will say.
yeah, he was better this year.
Um, Justin Moore, directional transfer. He has committed to Loyola Chicago. Seems like a very Loyola Chicago pickup.
Yeah,
Yeah, but they're Loyola
should be a good
Chicago,
pickup. Justin Moore's good.
solid point guard option there.
The better
And
Justin Moore.
one could say that. I know you're not a big fan of the other Justin Moore, so, but yeah. Drew Valentine really got things back on track in Chicago, so like this
He really
pickup.
won us over.
Yeah, I was out on him. I was like sort of like
Honestly,
skeptical the first
I
year.
was slandering him like for the first month or two,
Oh,
just making fun of him, but
and it was
then
deserved. His last year was terrible, but he's back on our good side
turned it
now.
up, man.
He's
He did a
back.
great
He's
job
back.
this
He's
year.
back. Jalen Anderson, Ball State transfer. He's committed to Incarnate Word. This is a monster pickup for Incarnate Word. That's a shout out to Incarnate Word. This guy
Oh,
like he could have gone high major. Roll a high major would have been questionable, but like shout out Incarnate Word for getting him. He's gonna put up some big numbers. I mean, he averaged like 15, 4, and 5 at Ball State. Like
yeah.
he
Well,
is he is good.
he
This is a
was their best
great
player at Ball
pickup.
State for sure.
Yeah. Jihad was pretty good,
Jihad was
but
solid too. But
Anderson's good facilitator, can score. That's a great pickup for Incarnate Word. And he's gonna I mean you found somewhere where he can really still
are
play.
they in the
Like
MEAC, right?
no, they're in the Southland. They're in
Oh, well,
Texas.
Southland Chip, man. Well, McNeese.
Yeah, Will Wade is still not left McNeese, so that is league is his until determined otherwise.
Uh,
But he'll be one of the best players in the conference at the very least.
for sure.
Miles Wilmoth has committed to Siena from Hofstra. Did not play this year; he was hurt. Played a few years at Butler. Didn't see a ton of minutes, but still has some high major upside there. Um, Anthony Morales from Boston U. He is off to Kent State. Very solid pickup for
He
the
still has
Golden Flashes.
eligibility?
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah.
It felt like he'd been around forever.
Maybe. Well, I
He
mean
was
this.
there
I
since the
mean all
Javante
the fifth year
McCoy
guys
days,
are
man.
still eligible. So, um, yeah. I mean he's been in college 4 years, so this is his fifth, and yeah. Mount St. Mary's transfer Josh Reeves is off to UIC. Solid pickup there. Northwestern State transfer Ryan Forrest. He is off to North Carolina A&T. Was a freshman this year. Did not play the last half of the season. I'm not sure why, but he put up some solid scoring numbers. Former Memphis commit. So good pickup for North Carolina A&T. And the last transfer is Amiri Stewart from Wilmington, a D2 school. He is off to Sacred Heart, and I really like this pickup. Um, for as much as this like may not affect college basketball all next season, I really do like Stewart. He's a really athletic for a guard, can get to the rim, can shoot it. I think Sacred Art really got a steal with him.
For sure.
Um, we do have a few cut lists released. One of them is Frankie Collins from Arizona State. Cut his list down to remaining Arizona State, TCU, SMU, San Diego State, Florida, and Cal. Point guard from Arizona State. Honestly, I like this list. I feel like he did a good job of picking some schools where he can play a solid role and they fit his style. Like
Yeah,
I will say that.
San Diego State's a little weird,
Yeah,
but
but he's a pretty good defender. Like he
that's
can
true.
so
High pressure.
he fits into the like the can really clamp
And I
some
think San
guys.
Diego State would be much more guard oriented next year. I think there's going to be a serious change in how they play next year with how the roster's filling out and things with Ladie gone. So it is going to be a breath of fresh air, I think, to watch them play next year. But anyway, I think he's a Cal Golden Bear.
Okay. That
I
would
don't I don't
I
want to see
wouldn't
him in
mind that.
Florida because I don't want it interfering with Corin Johnson. I need Corin Johnson. to be a Gator.
Yes. Yeah, SMU. I don't know. I don't know what the roster's gonna look like because Enfield just got
SMU's on
hired, but
there?
yes.
Ooh. Okay, I could see that too.
I don't know. He just like made too good of a colorist. Like I could see all these like being like good options for
Honestly,
him. Like shout out Frankie. He knew what he was
he
doing.
did his research.
Picking some schools that will fit good. Um, I don't know. I kind of like SMU. Like I don't know why I see it, but I see it.
Yeah, no, now that that's on the list, I
It just
glossed
make
over
I
that.
don't know why it makes sense, but it kind of
He's
does.
the type of player I could see there.
Yeah. Um, Brandon Johnson, East Carolina transfer. He's down to Miami, Louisville, Virginia Tech, Mississippi State, NC State, and Pitt. Um, can shoot the ball, can pretty good score overall for his size. Um, what do we like here?
I don't watch a lot of them. If I watched more of them, I probably would have a better read on this. Oh, maybe NC State. Honestly, I think they do have a shot here. I think he's a kind of forward that would do well there in a high-paced offense that Keats likes to run. He could obviously go to Miami. I think that could be a favorite. But I think Miami's got a lot of straws, in a lot of different names right now. And I don't know if we will see.
Yeah, I do kind of like NC State. He's also from Raleigh. I
Uh,
think that's where might be where NC State is.
it is, yeah.
Yeah. Um, Louisville would be nice. They just need some guys, and I
Yeah,
want
it needs
Pat
some
Kelsey to
guys.
succeed. So
Yeah, no,
um,
that would be a good pickup for them.
I
Huntley
don't know.
Hatfield cut his list too, right?
Yes, we did talk about it yesterday, and
Okay.
Louisville kind of same schools. I think was Pitt in his.
Yeah, no, they
Um,
were
I think they. Yeah,
same,
it was
damn near
UConn.
identical cut
Yeah,
lists.
it was UConn and then three other schools, Pitt, NC State, and Louisville. They were also on Brandon Johnson. So yeah, I would. I think yeah, those are Mississippi State's kind of
Odd
a
one out, yeah.
maybe they just like want offense now. Like
Could
change,
see.
like I don't know.
I like it.
I
I
don't know.
hope
And
so.
NC State is my pick with no intel or information, but let's get into our top 10 list. I only did 10 today. I don't know if we could even
I
find
did
like 15
15, but
players.
like
You
I
did
will
15?
say like the
Well, you can
last
just the bottom five can be honorable
yeah, the
mentions.
bottom five are
So
bad.
do you want to list your honorable mentions off?
Yeah, I got Oscar Clough at 15. From Washington State, you played quality minutes
Yeah.
as a center. Definitely better than I think we both thought he'd be.
Mm.
So
I
and
actually
then
have him
I
in my top 10.
oh good. I
Barely,
have
but
Noah Ammenhauser from Grand
okay.
Canyon, freshman, seven
Didn't
foot.
play too much, but has good
Um,
size,
yeah, I think,
eligibility.
you
So
know, what depending on where he goes, he could have a nice role for himself.
okay, okay,
Brendan Rakesby from Oregon,
okay.
13,
Got him at
solid
10.
guard. Um,
Yeah,
Trey Lewis at Loyola Chicago at the 12. Freshman,
yeah.
didn't really play much, didn't really do great. So,
He has
um,
some upside for sure.
number 11, I got Miles Foster, somebody
Okay,
I
I had him in
liked.
my top 10 as well.
Can definitely be top 10, really good on the glass, just a little bit undersized, I think, even at the Power 5 level. Yeah,
Okay,
maybe he's like a 4, but like it
yeah,
would still be weird. He'd be up against a lot bigger and stronger guys than he's used to. And then at 10, I have Julia White. It's from Temple.
okay, okay. So I'll go through some of my honorable mentions first. So, few honorable mentions. Brandon Chatfield from Seattle, very efficient inside big. Can't really go wrong with taking him at like a mid major. Former Washington State player, so
I think he's a Power
um
5 guy. I do. I like Brandon Chatfield a lot.
maybe. I mean,
Um,
he started out as one. I don't like
he just,
dislike him. He's yeah, it's kind of
Washington, especially with Cam Tyson, there's just not many shots to go around.
yeah,
He
no,
shoots a
but
lot.
yeah, but he's
Chatfield is
also never been a
really,
guy to like he's doesn't I mean, he's really efficient though. Like he
of
does what he does
course.
and he's good at what he does. Good offensive rebounder. Um Another one of my honorable mentions, Dominic Prolin from Lehigh, just pretty solid player there. nothing crazy. Then my last honorable mention was Eric Demings, freshman point guard from Utah Tech. Was solid, had some big scoring games, wasn't efficient, great overall, but it happened with freshmen. Definitely think there's some upside taking him as a mid-major point guard. So let's see, who'd you have at 10 again?
Jaleel White from Temple,
Okay.
6'7" wing. He's got really good upside.
Yes.
He's I think got a year left though, but
Yeah. Good, good,
um,
good defensive
I wonder where
piece.
he goes. He's not really a shooter though,
No,
but
he
really good
not a shooter
defensive
at all.
piece.
He did go 0 for 21 from three last year. He made three of them this year, but yeah,
Yeah,
not
not his
not
game.
not a shooter. But he's solid. He can facilitate a little bit. He can pass, has some vision. Um, not in my top 10, but would definitely be thought of if I made the list a little bit longer. At number 10, no, I had Rigsby, as I alluded to earlier. I think he's a pretty solid guard. He has a lot of athleticism for
For sure.
someone. You looking at him, you wouldn't think he would be as athletic as he is, but he can score from
He has his games where
inside.
he looks great.
Yes, the
Then
first
he
game of
has
the
his
season, I remember
games
he was
where
amazing.
and
And
he has his games where he's just completely absent.
yeah,
So
um, but overall, he was like a solid player at a high major level. Doesn't not like a huge usage guy, but
yeah, when I saw him
can
only
shoot.
average 6 a game, surprised me. But
Yeah, can shoot. Yeah, solid athleticism. I think he'll be a solid role player. Maybe should go mid major, but I think he can stick it out to high major level if that's where he
for
wants to
sure.
be and have that same type of role that he did this year. So yeah,
So at
you're on.
9, I have Alec Oglesby from Stetson. A really good shooter with size. Somebody I like. I watched him in the A-Sun tourney. He's a really good off-ball player, and off-ball
Yeah,
players are a premium.
he can really shoot it.
There's not a ton of guys like that can play off ball that don't need the ball in their hands. They hit open shots. And he's good at that. He's got good size, 6'5". Definitely
Hmm.
like him.
Could be a solid shooter on the wing for probably another mid major program. He
Yeah,
kind of bounced around a few times, but found his role at Stetson this year. Played a lot of minutes, was efficient in the shots he took. Um, Connected mostly from three, but can score from inside as well. Not strictly limited. And yeah, really good shooter. Not on my list, but someone who will be a quality mid-major addition. Number nine, no, I had Oscar Klopp, as I mentioned earlier. I think he's just another one of those guys, just like a really solid big. Like there's so many like really solid bigs that don't do stupid things. They don't get a ton of touches, but like they're kind of
honestly,
efficient when they
like as a
do.
big man at the collegiate level, if you want to get above a lot of big men, just don't do dumb shit.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I
Um,
mean,
and you will be better than a lot of big men.
yeah, they're just efficient, crash the glass, block some shots.
And that's
Just
it. Like
yeah,
that's
and
all
that,
you
that
really
that's what
have to
Clough
do.
does.
And that's what he does for sure.
Yeah, really solid player. Not crazy, but started most games this year for Washington State tournament team. Really good offensive rebounder, solid rim protector. I mean, he can stay at the high major level.
For
Um,
sure, he could.
don't think he can get into Stanford though. I
No.
don't know anything about him myself, but JUCO to Washington State to Stanford does seem like a very difficult path to go down.
Yes.
But yeah, he'll be desired. Um, yeah. So number eight.
So number 8, I have someone kind of grew on me a little bit this year. Kirk Kriisa. I think he had a solid
I had him
season.
higher.
Um, yeah, I just think the guys on this list aren't a lot better than him, but maybe just a little bit. And he's only got a year left, so it wasn't
Yeah.
really that high usage, like always. But yeah, he's a good passer. His passing impressed me.
Yeah, I will say,
Really good
like
from three this year.
he can shoot it. If you
Oh,
get
of
him in the
course.
right role, he can be so good.
He can.
The only thing is he turns the ball over a lot, which it's just kind of the way he plays. Like he just kind of
Yeah.
he
He
does
was a
some
lot better this
questionable
year than he
plays.
was at Arizona.
Oh,
At
he
least I
can.
felt
I mean, he
like it.
shot the ball really well. Obviously, West Virginia was kind of bad, but he still had a solid year himself.
I could
Once he
see
was
like why
eligible.
there was hype around him. Like,
Oh, I like him. I know there's a lot of Kirk Reese haters, but honestly, I've kind of liked him the whole time. I mean, he obviously has his flaws with being out of control, turning the ball over, but he's still a very good passer, very good shooter. maybe sometimes shoots some bad shots, but this year he really improved his
He did.
efficiency from three. So, I
Exactly. Got to give him
mean,
credit.
if you can kind of make him a combo guard where he's not handling the ball so much and isn't gonna make a bunch of stupid plays, maybe get him some more better looks from three, he can be really good.
Yeah, then you got to worry about him guarding bigger guys, though. Then that,
Yeah.
there's an issue.
Um, yeah.
But it's
I
all
mean, he
right.
started on two very good Arizona teams,
Sure.
regardless of how their tournament success went. They he was a huge piece of those teams.
Yeah.
Um, Number eight though, I have Glenn Taylor from St. John's. He was solid this year. Came into his own a few games down the stretch. I remember he had a few pretty big games at the end of the season.
I think he improved so much to me. Someone who watched him on a game by game basis, even at Oregon State, like he could not shoot the ball
Yeah,
at all at Oregon State. He couldn't hit an open three to save his life.
yeah.
He couldn't make a free throw for crying out loud. Yes,
He was a good free throw shooter
he was
there.
like
Maybe
60,
you just watched the wrong
65%.
games. Maybe you just
Yeah,
watched the wrong games. He was bad.
but he was hitting open threes this year at a
Yeah.
decent clip. Um,
I do think he should move down a level though. He didn't
I
really see too much of a role, or maybe just a different team.
I
St. John just
disagree.
had
I
like so
think
many random guys.
I
Like
think
St.
he
John just had like so many guys that were like around the same level, and then like Taylor hardly got any touches. I think he can play at the power conference level. I
He
think he's
started to
athletic
start at
enough.
the end of the year, because
Yeah,
Pitino
started a
saw
few
how
games.
valuable he was on defense, on the
He-
glass, hustling,
Yeah.
did all the
Oh
little
yeah, for sure.
things.
He's very good on defense.
Um,
Just maybe a different like a school where he can have a little bit more offensive role
yeah,
is
St. John's just
what
had a
I kind
lot
of
of
meant.
older and good guards, so it
Yes.
was tough.
But yeah, Taylor's someone who I
I had
could
him at
definitely
6,
see.
so yep.
Yeah. He's from Las Vegas. What about UNLV? I don't know. I
He
think
just
I
seems like the most prototypical UNLV guy.
they could use him. I
I would
think he
like
could
him
be.
there.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, so number seven.
Number 7, I got JV McCollum. I mean, not
Really?
really a
That
ton to say here.
I think I have him at three.
Yeah, I think he's solid.
He was really good this year.
I mean, yeah,
He was
13
better
a
than
game on
someone
40%
better.
shooting. It's not
He
amazing.
wasn't like too inefficient. He just shot a lot of threes. I mean, he wasn't like overly efficient. He also got to the line a ton and was like 94% from the line. So that
He was
definitely
really good earlier on, but
helped
like
his true
most of
shooting
OU,
percentage.
he fell off towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
And I just worried about him on defense. He's small. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I still
But
like him. It's not that I
yeah.
don't. It's just,
I'm surprised he was as good as he was this year. Coming from
yeah,
Siena
you know
who
what? There's truth to that.
like
I set the bar
he
kind of low for him. I
but
did.
yeah. I think he is going to be I mean, he's a proven high major starting point guard, so I had him at
Yeah.
three. He was very good for Oklahoma this season overall. Now I'm a little ups and downs, some downs at the end of the season, but
But
that was
the
their
whole
whole team.
Oklahoma team was in the tank at the end of the season,
Yes.
so
But yeah,
including
number
the coach.
seven. Yeah, number seven, I had Miles Foster. He was really good this year at
He
Illinois
was.
State. Um, Interested to see how would play it like because I think he's would be more of a four. Like he was
He shredded
he
Kentucky
was a
apart, man. I
four.
remember watching that Kentucky game, man. They did not want any part of him down low.
No, he had 20 and 15 against him. He was dominating. He really improved his overall game this year. Monmouth was terrible, so I didn't know how he would translate. He
I
became
watched him
way
a
more
lot at
efficient.
Monmouth. He was a really skilled post scorer.
Yes,
He's got a
their
lot of
team was just so
moves,
bad they just brought down his efficiency numbers, all that
of
stuff. But
course.
he's a
Yeah,
really good defensive player.
he is. He
Yeah,
can
really
guard
good
multiple
rebounder.
positions as well. He
Yes,
can
good
guard guards.
athleticism, physical. He's
Definitely
I
see
think
the vision. I just
he
need
should
to
be a
see him
mid
in the
plus
right
guy
fit.
still. Maybe like an
I get,
A10 school.
yeah,
A10.
I gotta
He
see
needs
him
to
at
go
the
to an
right fit.
A10 school because I don't know about high major, but he can't shoot and he's
And he's 6'7", and that's kind of a wing at
yeah.
the high major level.
I mean, he can
Um,
like I don't want to say he can't play in a wing, he just can't shoot. Like
nah, yeah, he's not
he
a
can take
shooter. Mid
yeah,
range
I
at
mean
the
he's not a
absolute
shooter at all. Yeah.
best.
But
Yeah,
he can like he's still like athletic and physical enough to like
sure. Good on the
play
glass.
play in there and go inside. But yeah. Um yeah, I really think he can be solid. Number six, who do you have number
Had
six?
Glenn Taylor at 6.
Okay, yeah. Number six, I had Devin Cambridge.
Okay.
He was injured this year, played a little bit, but due to his injury being perfectly timed, he got another year of eligibility, so can't hate that.
Yeah.
Um, was actually really good at Arizona State last year. Really broke out. Was kind of like a bad basketball player when he played at Auburn. He was just like flying around there and not really like he's super athletic. Don't know if that'll impact with his injury, but like yeah, at
Yeah,
Arizona
true. We got
State
to
or
see
Auburn, he
that.
was kind of flying around there, getting dunks and missing shots. But at Arizona State, he was making shots, and he was really efficient. Very good defensive player due to his athleticism. So I mean, he
True. I
started off
think you just
season
got to
good.
worry about, what this injury can do to his athleticism.
Yeah, was it an ACL?
I think it might have been. I did
I
have him
think
at 2,
I
which,
think ACLs are like fine to recover from
yeah, that's the thing. Like,
compared to like Achilles. Like Achilles, you're
Achilles
never
is
gonna get
are
that
they're really
athleticism
bad,
back.
man. Like, but ACLs have become like the recovery times have become so much faster with the modern medicine, man. And I hope Cambridge, falls into line with that because he's a really special player when he's playing really good basketball, and we need to see him with his athleticism.
Yes. So number five.
Number 5 is where I had Chatfield.
Okay. A little high. The one thing I didn't want to put him above Clough because Chatfield didn't play when he was at Washington State, and then
Oh, that's right, he was there.
he was. And they're kind of like the. I mean,
I mean,
Chatfield
then
was good at
again, like
Seattle. I
Chatfield
mean, yeah,
wasn't really that
it's
good
not
on
like an end all be
defense,
all,
and
but
if you're not going to be great defense, and Washington State always had a ton of bigs.
yeah, they each have like random bigs that don't stick around. But yeah, Chatfield's been good. Um, think he can still be good somewhere. Number five is right, Creasa.
Okay, so number 4, I have Chris Johnson.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go gutsy here.
That is a
Um,
gutsy pick. I did not have him because he didn't do anything this year,
right,
but
he didn't really
you're
do
buying into the
anything,
potential.
but
I don't hate
he's
that.
6'5". He was a 5-star. I mean, he was a huge recruit.
Yeah, I feel like he
Um,
was a guy who like people were saying wasn't really gonna be that good.
yeah.
Um,
And I think Texas was an awful place for him. Um,
not not a big fan of Rodney Terry's development. Don't know if I mentioned on the show yesterday, but
you might have, you might. Um, but I see him like under the right role, like he could be at least a really good
yeah,
contributor off the bench somewhere. Like,
don't know
you
what we're
know,
gonna see from him, but at least there's a allure of the unknown. Was a good recruit,
and
former
honestly, on
Kansas
this list,
commit.
there's so many guys with just 1 year of eligibility. Like,
Yeah,
this has
I'd rather
been
take someone that you know what you're getting though. Like
that's true.
if you can get a really good guy for 1 year, it's gonna be perfect for what
I
your
mean,
team needs.
obviously,
I would take that over someone
if you're a
bad for
good
4 years.
basketball team, right, you're not plugging him into a starting role.
No, no.
You're plugging him into a bench spot, see what he can do, and go from there.
Yes. Number four though, I had a different freshman guard. It's where I had Tyler Johnson from Louisville. Um,
Ooh.
Louisville was they were what they were, but Johnson, while he had his inefficiencies, he got some big time minutes for them. Had one really good game against Florida State where he had 27, 6 rebounds and 11
Look at you,
assists.
Louisville
So
enthusiast over here.
hey, I mean, I did not like Louisville last year, but Johnson has some potential. Was a really good facilitator. Um, pretty solid on ball defender. He's small, but he can be small but pesky in that sense.
It's good we had our
Um,
own, both had freshmen at 4, so it's
yeah,
good.
Johnson. He at least showed you what you're going to get from him. Tyler Johnson, that is. Um,
Yeah, but so
not Chris Johnson. You don't know what you're getting. You're still at some appeal there, but yeah, Tyler can be a very solid point guard. I'll give his efficiencies a pass. He was a freshman. He still put up some solid scoring numbers. Was kind of got better as season went on, I believe. So yeah. Number three.
so I know you have him one. I just know you do. It's Victor Lock-in.
I actually had him two.
Oh
I one.
wow.
I almost had him one. I could put him one. I wouldn't have a problem, but I had him two.
Yeah, he had a pretty good season. It was good rim
Yeah,
protecting.
he was hurt a lot of it.
I did hear that.
the
Yeah.
back half of the season. He did expand his range. He wasn't like a great shooter, but like he showed he could kind of make a few threes here and
He
there.
shot more volume. Yeah.
Yeah, like he shot 55 threes and he shot 4 threes last year.
That's why he was 50% last year, because he shot four of them.
Yeah, yeah, but definitely added that a little bit of that aspect
I
to his
felt like that was
game.
the case. Yeah.
Yeah, still a really good rebounder, really good
He's
defender.
6'11". He's huge.
I'm a big blocking guy. Can play to 4 or 5. Um, I'm a big blocking guy.
I'm glad he's
As
not at Cincinnati anymore, so I can root for him.
what do you have against Cincinnati?
Oh, we don't need to get into that.
Okay, him.
So
Actually, never mind.
Cambridge, I have it too.
Okay, I was gonna say Locken and Golden should team up because they're both Russian big men.
Oh,
But Locken won't be able to get into Michigan unless he's a grad, which I don't know if he is. That was just another no. But yeah, I like Locken. But I had McCollum at 3, Locken at 2, and it seems like we are lining up to have Jordan Pope at 1.
yes, sir.
I like Jordan
Prolific,
Pope.
prolific prep
Oregon State was bad, but
finest.
like he was so good. He can create his own shot, can create shots for others,
I mean, the
can shoot
fact
the
that Oregon
ball.
State had like some really high highs this year, like they beat
Oregon State like
Arizona.
was bad, but they weren't like completely atrociously terrible bad.
Yeah, they had a
Like they
couple
won like
decent
5
games.
league games,
Okay,
which
it's
like
more than I thought.
yeah, that's I mean they beat Arizona, crying out loud. So
Right.
yeah,
And
Pope
Pope
had
was
some big
insane that
games. I mean he
game.
had 31 that game. So
And the buzzer beater.
yeah, he only had one single digit scoring game on the season. He
He's
is
got two
good.
years, right?
Yep, he was a freshman last year, sophomore this year. Really stepped up. I mean, I think we knew he was going to be really good, but elevated his game even though he was so good as a freshman to be like a star as a sophomore. So,
He's a pretty good defender too, isn't he? Decent.
I'm not sure. Oregon State was, I don't know like how much of I don't know. We'll see. I guess. I think he can be fine.
Yeah, he's not like a huge weakness on that end anyway.
No. So yeah, Hope is
Especially the eligibility, I think that's what really gives him a clear
yeah,
edge
getting
over
2 years of him that's solid because I do like 2 year transfers. You can get 1 year. And a lot of times transfers have really big second years. Like once you're in the program for a year, maybe they weren't as good as you thought they'd be year 1.
to find their
They stick
footing. Yeah,
around, they kind of really break out year 2. That is a thing.
for sure.
But yeah, I guess we can go through some of the guys today. Not really much to talk about. Um, Let me scroll through some names here. There really wasn't anyone to talk about, but Tom House, Florida State. Don't think he really played there, but could
I
be a
remember
solid.
playing like a couple games because they had no shooting, and
Yeah,
they'd have
he
to
he
put
can
him
shoot
in.
a ball. I'm pretty sure he's like a wing who can shoot, decent
Hmm.
size. I don't think he ever should have gone to Florida State. He was like a
Yeah,
mid plus guy and committed to Florida
I don't
State.
really get that.
Taron Allen, solid player from Wagner.
Uh,
Um,
sure.
should fit in another mid major to low major. Can be a solid player there. Um, Jacob Connor from Marshall. I thought he would break out this year. Didn't really do
Yeah,
that.
I
Think he can
remember
still be a
that.
solid mid major addition. Um, let's see. Do we have anyone else? Carl Font. I really do like him. He didn't. I don't think he played hardly at all in Memphis this year, but I was really in on him. Start season really good on defense. And I think once he gets away from Memphis and the train wreck of a season that it was, I think he can be really successful somewhere. I was really in on him.
Okay.
I'm not
Mm.
giving up on him after Memphis because,
Oh, of course.
um,
Train wreck.
yes, Joe Hurlburt from Colorado didn't play much there. I think he'll go to North Dakota State
Okay. Mm.
because I'm like pretty sure he's from Fargo or surrounding areas.
Mm.
Um, I don't even did he even play at all? I don't even, he was like a decent recruit. Like he was a scholarship player and stuff, like top like 200 recruit. Did he? played all this. He did. Yeah, he played. Yeah, he did like nothing when he played. But yeah, he's from up there in North Dakota, so I think he'd be a good fit with the Bison. Um, Matar Joe from Nebraska, freshman, didn't really do much, but played a little bit here and there. I think he could be a solid pickup. Somewhere, Demorian Williams, Texas Tech guy, was really good at Gardner Webb, I think is where he was
That's
at,
where he was. Yeah,
where he was good. He should go back down to a similar level. I think
I
he can be
agree.
good. Elaine Fibule from UCLA. UCLA's international freshmen were a disaster this year, but should have good defensive potential, good athleticism. Maybe someone can develop him. Speaking about UCLA, Mac Etienne is in the portal.
Yes,
Don't
sir.
know who'd take him, considering somehow got worse from when he was at UCLA to when he was at DePaul, but he still has some size. Maybe under a better coaching system, he can be a solid backup big.
Hmm.
Hard to really like get on guys for how they were at DePaul when like the whole
Yeah.
coaching staff was just a disaster all year. So
Gosh.
Casey Beckway from Oregon State, solid rim protecting. Um, don't know if he's too good at anything else, but he's a big guy. He's a big guy, good rebounder, rim protector. Um, he'll find a spot. He'll find a spot somewhere. I think he can be pretty decent, but yeah, that's it. I'm gonna check to see if I wouldn't assume we would miss anything while recording the podcast, but since it's a quick one, I'm just gonna scroll through my Twitter feed. Oh, Johnell Davis entered the portal. Well, what do we know?
Ooh.
So he would go to my number one if we're doing this list again. He would be number
Uh,
one. He would be number one. Don't. He'd be number
he
one.
was
He would be
inconsistent
number one.
though. Over
He would be
Pope?
number one. Yes.
How many years does he have left?
Yeah, he has one, but he can give you a really good year. I'd rather, I mean, not that Pope isn't amazing, but I'd rather just take someone for how good they're going to be. I mean, like, he was really good. Like, I mean,
Uh,
he definitely had his games, but like, he was really efficient overall, really shot the ball well from three,
yeah.
can get to the rim. Easy number one. Easy number one for me. Probably in like the top five portal players of the season.
I have to. It just felt like at times he was absent in big games. Like that South Florida game, he did nothing.
I mean, he had 20.
That was I think Elijah Martin actually did a lot that game, surprisingly. Um,
Yeah, Elijah
I didn't watch
Martin
a ton of
bad
FAU
this
this
year.
year, admittedly.
I did. He was good.
Okay, oh damn, career high from three by over 6%. It's
Yes.
really really impressive.
He
Oh
is so good. I'm
yeah,
glad I checked Twitter. He would be
he's a number
immediate
one.
number one.
He's a all right.
He's
I
number
see his
one.
numbers. I'm comparing them.
He is number one. Although I'm still not sure I can get over what he did to end the Northwestern game.
Yeah, that was really
When
freaking bad.
that was the worst shot
When his
selection I've ever
controller
seen.
died,
Like he could have just driven to the rim. Instead he like or past it. I don't know.
and they could have given us a better game than Northwestern did next round.
Um yeah, UConn's just too good though.
But yeah, obviously.
Um let me
Super
check to
team.
make sure there's not anything else I missed since I saw that. Let me just check a few Twitter accounts that tweet that stuff. Damn, good thing I checked. Johnell Davis. Man, I wonder if he goes to Michigan or not, but he is he is good.
In the
Someone's gonna
Big
give him a
Ten, that
really
would
good
be
year good.
nice.
I mean, he would be an all conference player in the Big Ten.
No, for sure.
100%, 100%. Jeez, I'm glad I found that out. That was big. So just pretend he had number one. Pretend we ranked our top 11 players today.
Yep.
Jordan Pope, you had your moment. You had your moment. Now you're number two. You were number one for a little bit though. And hope you enjoyed your
The
time in the
portal never
spotlight.
sleeps, man. 11 o'clock.
Portal never sleeps. Yeah, well, I think that's it for today's episode. Make sure if you liked it to give us 5-star review on the podcast platforms. Give us a like if you're listening to this on the YouTube platform. Subscribe there, see all of our episodes, get up to date. Post notifications would be nice to turn on to this seed, and You would see when we release our episodes live, be the first ones to see it, so the news doesn't get old when you listen to it. Make sure to follow our social media accounts at Hoopscoop Media, Instagram, Twitter, and make sure to follow Kyle at Mid Major Basketball on Instagram. And yeah, anything else to say before we wrap this show up?
I think it's it. Pretty brief
Yep,
episode.
that is it. Some Johnell Davis. That really threw me for a loop. I was expecting nothing to happen, and 10 at night, 11 in
Yeah.
Florida, but
I knew
he,
that would happen on some episode.
yeah,
Just didn't
good.
think it was this one.
Got some good live reaction. So it's always a positive. And yeah, we will see you tomorrow for another episode of Portal Bonanza.